seconds to go.
Told ya. Fucking told ya.
If you're not aware, and why would you be, Rainbow Six Siege is probably my favourite online first-person shooter. Titles like Call of Duty release titles every year which are exactly the same, with a new time setting, reskins of guns, and more exclusives for Activision to get your money. We're currently in year 5 of Siege, and while we've gotten some interesting operators so far, like the Kool-Aid Man and Milla Jovovich were meh at best, while Ace and Meloosi were actually really damn useful. For the first time, we're only getting one new operator, a map rework, scope attachment reworks, a new gadget for attackers if a hard breacher isn't available. But how is this new update overall? I actually find it to be a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. Let's start with the rework first before we get to the new operator. There's been a complete scope rework with 1.5 and 2.5 ACOG zooms and even a 3x scope for some attackers. So heads up as you need to go through all of your operators or just your mains to double check their attachments. You won't need to unlock anything, thankfully, like when Siege first released, and you'll also be able to change the colour of the aiming reticule too if you'd like. There's also a new ping system.
Pingers.
No, not that ping. And you'll be able to ping gadgets that highlight a different colour, and each player will be assigned a number from 1 to 5. Each ping will have a different number inside it, so you'll be able to tell who's pinging what location. These updates aren't bad and have actually come in handy. Rather than just seeing random yellow pings appear everywhere, if a member on your team pings a gadget, it will highlight blue or red and provide an outline of what that gadget is. For example, if you ping a castle barricade, it will highlight a different colour, and a little outline of the castle wall will be inside the ping. If you're playing with randoms who aren't making callouts or using their mic, and hey, that's fine, some people are shy and don't want to talk, when they ping something, a little number will appear in the ping marker, and quickly bringing up the team information will tell you what team member is allocated to that number. We've also got an update to an old classic map in Chalet. Now, for those of you who don't know the names of maps, and honestly the only map I know is House, and that's because it's a fucking house, but Chalet is the woodlog cabin in the snow. Now, it's not a bad map update. The main entrance to the fireplace is a bit different now. Defending the main fireplace room is now a bit of a chore as the stairs have moved, and there's more of an open view down below from above.
Oh, on the top of the stairs!
The front door, which could also be breached, has now been removed, just like the house rework, and some of the spawn peak windows have also been moved and changed. Players can now also rappel to the roof, which provides a safe haven from spawn peaks. Just like all maps, it will take time to get used to the new rework, and there's a little grace period before spawn peekers and runouts will start to emerge from the bushes like pedophiles at a public park.
How do I tell them to suck this wang?
There's a new and welcomed update for the defending team in reinforced walls. Now, previously each operator had 2 reinforced walls to deploy. Normally you'd expect each defender to reinforce the area before roaming and deploying gadgets. Now, unless you're playing with a full squad of mates though, majority of the time there would be one player that would run off and roam and sit in a corner and hide from enemy drones 2 floors away, or place random Capcan traps around the map. This update now changes the 2 reinforced walls that players carry to a shared pool. Anytime a defender uses a reinforced wall, it removes it from the pool above that the team can use. So should you have someone on your team that plays as a trapped base character, or Cav, they can go about and roam as they please in the defensive stage while other members can completely reinforce the area. What's also great on top of this is if a player drops out of the game in the preparation phase, you still have 10 reinforcements, where previously if a team member left or dropped out without reinforcing the walls, you'd lose those 2 reinforcements, leaving you open to attacks. Now, this is a really smart update that I personally love. When I'm playing with the lads, we'll generally have 2 to 3 people in the room reinforcing and placing any relevant defensive gadgets, while the roamers can freely roam around and set up traps around the map. Attackers now have a new gadget with the hard breach charge. This charge is pretty straightforward and also kinda cool to see and use. Certain attackers, such as Knock for example, will have a single hard breach charge that will blow a crouchable hole through reinforced walls. Though by picking this gadget you'll lose the option for grenades and claymores and all that sort of stuff. It also helps if someone in your team doesn't pick a hard breacher, but you've got a couple of operators with this device. Hey, I get it, Thermite, Habana or Ace might not be your thing, but you can still play as Fuse with his iconic hostage killing device and carry this hard breach charge. The gadget will activate as soon as you finish deploying it on the wall, so you won't need to activate it like a standard breaching charge. Now previously, if the defending team had taken out the attacker's hard breaches, they could breathe a little easier knowing that they couldn't break through their reinforced walls, but not anymore. This new gadget can be interrupted like any hard breaching tool, such as electrified walls and mute jammers. Now let's get on to the new operator. The man, the myth, the legendary Sam Fisher joins Operation Shadow Legacy with a new gun, a personally questionable gadget and a bit of a waste of an opportunity. Fisher goes by the name Zero. Apparently there's a story in Siege that Fisher is on the run and joins Rainbow under the name Zero. Sure, okay, whatever.
Mark it 0, next frame.
Anyway, Sam is armed with his SC-3000K, which is his signature weapon from the Splinter Cell games. Sam can also equip a MP7 machine gun, and Sam's sidearm is his iconic 5.7 handgun with the built-in suppressor and has 2 frag grenades, 1 claymore, but his gadget is a bit eh. Sam will fire sticky cameras from a special pistol. These Argus cameras can not only stick to walls, but can also breach through hard surfaces and fire a single laser to destroy enemy gadgets. Think of Sam, or Zero,
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules? Mark it 0!
like Twitch and Valkyrie put together. These cameras, when fired against any surface, unless it's an unbreachable one like a brick wall for example, will burrow through them. So if you're under the objective, you can fire your camera through a floor hatch or through the floor itself and pop up the camera on the other side. Sam can fire 4 of these cameras from his special pistol, and to be fair, this can come in handy when working alongside hard breaches or IQ, which on paper sounds good. But you know what else on paper sounded good? Jimmy Fallon having a talk show. Sam Fisher, sorry, Zero's gadget can be handy, but I found it completely useless. You'll be able to use a Argus camera to burrow through reinforced walls, but obviously shocked walls destroy the camera. Mute jammers also prevent the camera from turning on or, well, the laser firing. So the only way this will work is with Thatcher, whose gadget now no longer destroys batteries, jammers, and more. That's right, Thatcher's gadget now just temporarily disables defenders' gadgets, but that's not even the worst thing. When firing an Argus camera against, well, anything, you'll hear the iconic Splinter Cell goggle noise, which yes, is a cool touch, but alerts everyone on the enemy team that not only someone is running Sam Fisher,
Mark it 0!
sorry, Zero, but that they've fired a camera nearby. On top of that, when you fire an Argus camera, the camera emits a bright green flickering light. So not only will the defending team hear the Splinter Cell goggle sound, but a fucking strobe light is a dead giveaway for where the camera is. Oh, also, Jaeger's defense system and Wamai's magnets will take out the Argus camera too if you try to shoot them into the room. It can get a bit frustrating learning Sam's gadget, but thankfully his SC-3000K is a pretty damn good primary weapon, and his frag grenades do come in handy.
I was happy with that.
Now, I said Sam is a bit of a wasted opportunity, and while chatting with some of my mates who think Sam is actually pretty useful, I found it strange that they merged Valkyrie and Twitch together rather than making him an attack version of Pulse. Sam Fisher's iconic goggles hang from his backpack, where I feel like that should have been his gadget. Having the ability to cycle through night vision, thermal vision, or his sonar vision to see through walls and spot roamers. The thermal vision would help with spawn peekers peeking through windows and doors, night vision would help with darker maps, and his sonar goggles would work like they do in the Splinter Cell games. Obviously you can't have the range that it does in, say, the Splinter Cell Conviction game, but have it as the same range as Pulse's heartbeat monitor. I love the idea of incorporating other Tom Clancy universe characters into Siege, and I think that bringing a member of Ghosts or perhaps a Division agent could be cool, but they need to be more iconic. I was also a bit disappointed with Sam Fisher's outfit in general with this update. We'll most likely have a legendary skin for Fisher in his iconic stealth suit, but it would have been rad if he was in his Splinter Cell Conviction outfit and voiced by Michael Ironside. Yes, sadly it's not Michael Ironside, but the guy doing the voice is imitating Ironside, and that's a lot better than what we got in Splinter Cell Blacklist.
You give the signal my contact departs the safe house, it'll be a clear run at Coben.
It always looks easy on a screen, Grim.
What the hell was that?
Operation Shadow Legacy is a merge between Operation Health that we got a couple of years ago and a single new operator. While I'm not a fan of Sam Fisher,
You think I'm fucking around here? Mark it 0!
Zero's gadget, it is cool seeing Fisher in a game again. His SC-3000K rifle is pretty damn sweet, and I personally found his gadget to be a bit meh, but you might think otherwise. It sort of feels like this operator though could be anyone rather than feeling like you're playing as Sam Fisher. However, just like all DLC released for Siege, it keeps the game fresh and it keeps the game alive, and I'll take Siege any day over the trash that is Call of Duty. Of course, I'll be coming back to Siege with each new operation and each DLC drop, but what I would like to know is what other Tom Clancy character would you like to see in Rainbow Six
I'm
Siege?
pretty fucking bored.
I think he had too much water. I just haven't been able to record my farts lately, man. So I'm just juggling.